Good morning. How's everybody doing? Replay people, hello. I found an interesting book today. I want to read some of it to you. First, we need some people to be here. Anyway, it's called The New Book of Knowledge. I know that's backwards, but The New Book of Knowledge, and there is a tree, because, of course, the tree of knowledge. Is that from the tree in Adam and Eve? Gotta wonder. Anyway, the New Book of Knowledge was published in the 70s. Copyright. Actually, the first copyright was 1966 by Grolier of Canada. This book is actually from Canada, but it was registered with the U.S. Patent Office. And the last copyright was 1982 by Grolier Incorporated. So Grolier is the one giving us all the information. And I just started going through this book a little bit. And one thing that caught my eye was the history of ice cream. Did you know that the history of ice cream, according to this Canadian book, is a mystery? No one knows exactly how or when people began to eat ice cream. Isn't that crazy? Of all the things to be a mystery, ice cream is one of them. There is one story in this book of knowledge that the Roman Emperor Nero, hi John, AD 37 to 68. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, everybody. Nero sent slaves to the mountains to bring back snow, and the snow was served to him sweetened with honey and fruit pulp. Marco Polo, 1254 to 1324, that's a pretty long time to live all the way back then, tasted flavored ices too during his famous travels in the Far East. And he brought the recipes back to Italy. So I think we all know about the Italian ices, and that is definitely a thing. Recipes for ices spread from Italy to the rest of Europe in the 1500s. The chefs of kings constantly experimented with the new combinations to please their masters, and at some point, cream and butter were added to the recipes for ice. The new dish was called cream ice. Cream ice, molded into amusing shapes, began to be served to the tables of kings across Europe. Louis XIV, from 1638 to 1715, again, living pretty long lives, these people, surprised his court with a dessert of eggs in cups of silver and gilt. Gilt being gold. The eggs, of course, were really ice cream. Gradually, ice cream took the name it has today. One of the earliest advertisements for ice cream was put in a New York paper in 1786. The ad announced that ladies and gentlemen may be supplied with ice cream every day at the City Tavern by their humble servant, Joseph Crow. Crow is spelled just like my dear friend Jamie Crow. Could it be an old relative of Jamie's? Because I'll tell you what, Jamie has relatives in super high places. You just never know where a crow is going to show up. Actually, there was just a crow over there. The bird, that is. 80 degrees in Indiana. I guarantee it's hotter than that here in South Florida. We are live in Fort Lauderdale today, and I am surrounded by crazy birds. We've got pigeons making a nest in our windowsills. It's a big problem. I just saw this crow over here. He was hanging out. Anyway, you want to hear more about ice cream? So back in the 1700s, ice cream was not an everyday event. That's what it says in this book. But is ice cream an everyday event for you? Because it shouldn't not be. I know it's not an everyday event for me. I probably eat ice cream maybe once a year. I swore off ice cream because of the carbs and the sugar. And then the fact that actually the ice cream that we buy in the grocery stores today, I'm not sure that it has any kind of nutritional food value. I don't know what you're talking about, Dempsey. I don't know anything about that. So Dolly Madison, she lived from 1768 to 1849, again, pretty nice long life, was famous for her imaginative dinners, and she was the first to serve ice cream at the White House. When her guests came into the dining room, they found a table covered with delicious dishes, and in the center of the table, a huge mound of pink ice cream on a silver platter. It was a delicacy because it was so difficult to make. At first it was beaten and then shaken by hand in a pan of salt and ice until it became firm. And isn't that interesting how salt makes things colder? It's so weird. But then again, when you want to melt salt on your sidewalk, we don't do that here in Florida, but you put salt on it. I mean, melt ice, you put salt on it. So really weird. Yeah, so I'm so AI. I feel sorry for you who think that a real person is AI. I don't know why you would think that. Do AI people miss one of their teeth? Is that normal for AI? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for my hair. Thank you for my hair. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, be nice to me. Yeah, okay, Lenny. Maybe you're the one who's AI. I don't know. So have you ever made ice cream by yourself with the salt and ice? It's pretty cool. Now, there was a freezer that was cranked by hand, which was developed around 1846. Now, making ice cream was still a chore. Cranking up that freezer was easier than shaking and putting the mixture in a pan. Ice cream socials became a popular way to entertain friends. Everyone helped turn the crank of the freezer, and homemade peach or strawberry ice cream was the reward. The development of the continuous freezer in the 1920s made the manufacture of ice cream very quick and economical. It soon was easier to buy packaged ice cream than to make it at home. Eskimo pies and popsicles began to be sold at the same time. Now, they're thinking in this book that ice cream cones began with the World's Fair in 1893. I gotta wonder about those World's Fairs. They seem very sketchy, don't they? Anyway, vendors there sold fried ice cream, in which ice cream was covered with a fritter batter and then quickly dipped into very hot lard or olive oil. Hello, Jean-Pierre. Bonjour. Putting the ice cream in an already prepared cone was the next step. Today, there are many novelty products from frozen drumsticks to ice cream pies. My favorite is the ice cream sandwich. Other ice cream products, because you know ice cream has many companion products. French ice cream and most frozen custard have egg yolk added to the cream mix. Ice milk is a frozen dessert that is very much like ice cream, but it has less milk fat. The milk fat content in ice milk is from 2 to 7%. Ice cream contains about 11% milk fat. A new frozen, this is new in the 80s, I guess, a new frozen product known as Melarine type frozen dessert, which I've never heard of, is just like ice cream, but the fat is from vegetable sources instead of milk. Interesting, sounds like fake ice cream to me. Vegetable sources, not good. Spumoni, however, That's good stuff. That is frozen Italian dessert made mainly out of whipped cream. Did you ever make your own whipped cream? It is super easy, and you should never ever buy whipped cream from the store again. Hi, Beth. So you know those frothers that you use for coffee? They look like little mixers, and but the mixing part is just like a kind of a coil. That's all you need. I pour about a cup of full cream, heavy whipping cream, if you will, and I put in a little bit of honey, and you just mix it. And it is amazing. It's like the best ever, the easiest thing you can do. So if you go and you buy that stuff out of the can, I mean, I know it's fun to, but seriously, you want it real, you want it to taste really good. Just make it yourself. It's really easy. It seems like we have outsourced almost everything. And it's interesting that this one person is thinking I'm AI, because you clearly don't watch the Beach Report and haven't been watching it for the past 10 years. And that's okay. But it is sad that AI is now making us doubt even very real people like me. It's kind of creepy that anyone, first of all, would think that I am AI, but it's also even creepier that there are so many people who would look at someone like me and be like, clearly not real. What? Hello, Heidi. Oh, you saw a cop with a dog? Where did you see a cop with a dog? Not on this show. Okay, well, anyway, don't be a troll, please, because on the Beach Report, people are here because they want to see the beach. Honest, that is the intercoastal. It's not the beach, but I will take you to the beach later. Block cheese is the best source of calcium. Good morning, New York Debs. 20 years ago today, JFK Jr. passed, and a big speech tonight too. Ooh. Oh my. Now, I thought that Trump's speech was going to talk mostly about the stolen election, but that JFK connection is very interesting too. And New York Dubs always has a lot to contribute. So I am in Fort Lauderdale today, Heidi, and I will be here all week. I will be babysitting some adorable dogs later today. They're my big dogs that I watch. There's one's a Labradoodle, and the other one is a retriever, or a golden retriever. Anyway, they are adorable sweethearts, and I haven't seen them in a while, so I can't wait to spend the week with them. Well, Cruz, go on the yacht if you know the man, but if you don't go on the yacht. All right, Cruz, I'm going to get rid of you because this is kind of annoying with your stupid comments. Sorry. Done. And I'm really just muting Cruz because Cruz is just trying to take away from my show by saying irrelevant things, and I don't appreciate that. So you will not be doing that anymore. My ex used to live in Hollywood, Florida. How's the air? We got Canadian wildfire clouds. I heard that. And look behind me and you see a white sky, which is something, you can see the blue sky, which is normal for Florida. But the white is something I noticed when I go up north. The sky is always white. It is very rarely the deep blue that I'm used to seeing. And I think when the sky is white, you're looking at maybe smoke and clouds. Beth, you've got to try it. It's so easy. Oh, another thing that you can add to your homemade whipped cream is the littlest bit of salt. Just gives it that little perk. It's very good. Do it to taste. See what you like. You can add different things in it too. I tried adding cinnamon to it. It's okay. I kind of like it, but not a huge fan of the cinnamon. I think it's better to put the cinnamon on after you mix it, maybe. Yes, this is the Sahara sand from the Atlantic. It's crazy, isn't it? Well, thank you, Sloppy. It doesn't smell. I don't smell smoke. I don't know, but some people are super sensitive to it. You just never really know. Hi, Stacy. Happy Thursday. New York Debs is in the Finger Lakes. What a beautiful area. I'm so sorry to hear that it's so bad up there that you can't even go out. That is awful. But no, this smoke is fine. And I'm not aware of any fires in the Everglades, which is where we usually have our wildfires. But I am really looking forward to hear what President Trump has to say tonight. I think it will be something epic. Hi, Don Runyon. Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Beach Report. I was just talking about the history of ice cream. Makes me kind of want some, but maybe not, because the ice cream that we buy today in the stores is, I don't think it has any real ingredients in it, and it is possibly a carcinogen, and as well as the air. Dangerous for elderly and people with respiratory issues in Florida's case. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like they're poisoning everything these days. The air, the vegetables. Did you hear about that diarrhea parasite that's going around? It's also World Snake Day. Great. Good morning, Frank Jones. Hello, Duke of New York. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We have a chemical smell in the air. Oh my goodness. Everybody is reporting that right now. So, everyone on the Beach Report, let us know what is your air quality. And like I was saying, my air quality is, the air is thick. It's muggy and hot here. And this cloud coverage is weird. I usually would see blue skies. Because here, I'll just show you around. So we have the normal blue skies. We got one of those weird feather clouds. But in general, yes, I do think there is some kind of a smoky situation that's causing these clouds like this. This isn't normally what it should look like in Fort Lauderdale. And those don't look like rain clouds either. And the sky is too light of a blue over there than it normally is. The snakes are going down. Detroit, Michigan, what's your air like? In the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, I think the air currents from the ocean also maybe pull this stuff in. But yeah, we're definitely dealing with some sketchy air quality. You can see that even the blue sky doesn't look as blue as it normally does, as if it has a thin sheen of cloud coverage. Because, you know, white dilutes blue. It is creepy, and I don't like it. Yes, prayers for all of our lungs. I have to say, though, we humans, we are extremely resilient. We are extremely strong, and we are powerful beyond anything we could ever imagine. People don't believe that about themselves, but it's true. It's really true. Look at you. You were wonderfully and fearfully made by a creator who made you in his image. So that should say a lot right there. All right, a little bit more about ice cream because I'm like deep into this one. Actually, I should look in this. So I've been reading from the New Book of Knowledge, which was last copyrighted in 1981. And it's interesting to see 80, I'm sorry, I still count on my fingers, 80, 90. That's more than 40 years ago. More than 40 years ago, 1981, I was 16 years old in high school. Everything keep us sick, to kill us early. Did you see private investing companies buying up nursing homes? They're doing it to still their wealth. They're doing it to still their wealth is hidden in the paperwork. And Don is right. With God, we are all powerful. Yes, of course, the doctors buy the nursing homes to put the patients that they never cure, because the healthcare industry is just that. It is an industry, and it is not designed to make you healthy. Healthcare is a lie. Yeah, oh, steal. Gotcha, Roger. They're doing it to steal their wealth, and it's hidden in the paperwork. Yes, that's what they do to a lot of people at the end of their lives, is try to take everything they've ever had. We live in this world where we are constantly being taxed, made to pay every little thing we do. When I was up north, I was so aware that you can't move anywhere without having to pay for it or having to go through some kind of a checkpoint, and it's really kind of creepy. Who are you talking about, TK? The rude people are the ones that surprise me the most. I don't know why I'm surprised by people like this, but the anti-Semitism that is rolling off of people's tongues these days, and I wanted you all to see what this person is saying about me. Thank you, Debs, for getting rid of that comment, but just in time for people to see what kind of people I have to deal with here. What kind of people come out of the woodwork. And okay, so I'm going to show you this TK person is a bigot and a very nasty person. So we're going to report them, and I would like everyone to report this person for, let's say, harassment or bullying, because that is what they're doing. This is harassing me, and this is harassing someone else. Okay, so yeah, you don't get to come on my show and talk that way about me. And they are now blocked, Roger. But I do want you guys to see what I have to go through, because people sometimes don't believe me. But it is a fact. There are very nasty people out there, and TK is one of them. So thank you, Debs. My mods will take care of them. Hello, Agus. I'm so glad you're here. I'm a custom carpenter. I haven't used antibiotics in decades, no flu shots, and no other fake pharmaceutical pusherman cartel poisons. Same. Absolutely same. Hey, Mopar. People should report them, so hopefully YouTube will ban their accounts. Exactly, Duke. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm showing you these very nasty people, because they don't get to talk this way to people they don't even know. And it's funny too, because people assume things that they know nothing about. So what does that mean, you prepped antibiotics, Deb? Thank you, Duke. Thank you. Kathy says, I have a puggy nose. You know, it is kind of funny. And hate poisons the soul. Thank you, Agus. That's so true. My nose has been a it's an identifying factor, but it's not a hook nose for sure, and it's not even a Jewish looking nose. This nose actually came from my mother's side of the family, and I was adopted as a baby, so I didn't know where the nose came from. However, I wrote a book about this, where I was stalked by my biological father. And when he first met me, yeah, he lied about who he was and tried to fake me out. But anyway, when he first met me, he kept marveling about my nose, and he was sure that I had a nose job, because he apparently has had more than one nose jobs. Anyway, he was the one with the big hook Jewish nose, or so he said. I don't know. I didn't know him back then, and I did not inherit that nose. So it is funny that anybody would mention my nose as being a big hook Jewish nose, because my father, who adopted me, was a plastic surgeon, and the saying goes, Jill's nose looks like it was already done because it's supposedly perfect. And I'm just saying that. I'm not saying I think my nose is perfect or anything, but just a little side note. So we're talking about colloidal silver, which Agus says has been known for thousands of years, and it was recently discovered not even 15 years ago that it strips the electrons off of pretty much any viral or bacterial instantly. That is super cool. So I believe it's called colloidal silver. Oh, thank you, Kathy. And it's not just like the silver in your jewelry or anything like that, but it's something called colloidal silver. And let's see if it's in the Book of Knowledge, because I would like to know about silver. Let's see what it says in this Book of Knowledge. Including the good bacteria in your gut, etc., you need lots of probiotics. And that's true. We are walking, talking petri dishes in all actuality. And you know, when you get cavities in your mouth, that's a mouth that's a thing from not having enough saliva. It isn't really from the food, although of course you should not have food particles in your mouth. But I'm finding out that it's the gut microbiome and the microbiome in your mouth that actually either causes cavities or makes your teeth healthy. Okay, I'm looking up silver here. Let's see what we got about silver. This book is kind of hard to find things in it. I'm going to go into the index. Oh, okay, so here's the problem. This is an encyclopedia, and it is for the letter I. So whatever I look up has to start with the letter I. Oh, this is interesting. Diseases from animals. Would you like to hear that? I can't read to you anything about silver from this book. Iodine. Iodine. Let's look up iodine. That should be something interesting. And Indian iodine industry. Ions. Okay, so we went a little bit too far. Let's see if it's even in here. Inventors. Other inventions. Iodine, here it is. Iodine and other halogens. Now this is the information they had from the 60s to the 80s. Iodine, bromine, the garbage truck. It's loud. Silver coins used in water to purify it in the Bible. That's why you throw coins in the wishing well. The well. Throw coins in the well. Makes a lot of sense. I lodged the skill saw in my calf muscle, full depth of 7 1/4 blade on a Mag 77. I was 20 years old, no hospital, no infection. I used colloidal silver, no stitches. Wow. Sorry, now I'm starting to cough. No, it was just one cough. It's probably okay. Okay, sorry about the garbage truck. But let's learn a little bit about iodine. And Deb is talking about using it for your thyroid, because I think iodine is pretty important. It also is used, silver coins, to keep milk fresh for weeks in room temperature during settler days. Wearing copper is good for pain too. And they used to throw a couple coins of silver in their water supply. Yup. This is so interesting. I'm so glad you're here, Agus. You have a lot of great information. Okay, iodine, bromine, chlorine, fluorine, and astatine, which I've never heard of, are the members of a family of chemical elements called the halogens. The halogens are very active chemically. They react with metals to form a type of compound called a salt. In fact, the word halogen means salt maker. Okay. All right, Agus. Well, you think you know about the useless information. We're going deep dive on iodine right now. Chris wants me to sing. Chris, I just died in your arms tonight. Should have been something you did. I don't know the words of that. It helped tick bites too. I have silver gel for wounds. I'm going out and buying some colloidal silver, seriously. Okay. Iodine is a gray-black solid with a metallic appearance. It is very important in several forms as a disinfectant, aka germ killer. Tincture of iodine. Iodine dissolved in alcohol is used to disinfect cuts and scratches. Higher animals need a certain amount of iodine in their food every day in order to keep healthy. Lack of iodine in a person's food will cause his thyroid gland to work improperly. Seafood contains iodine. AmioLife.com. Thank you, Debs. That looks interesting. Kathy's grandma always wore a copper bracelet, lived into her 90s. Yeah, Agus is amazing. Agus, I hope you have liked and subscribed. You're going to be coming back, right? And it destroys MRSA. Whoa. Also, if you have a lung infection, you can use silver peroxide in a nebulizer with a small amount of water. See, we have to keep ourselves healthy. The healthcare industry is not designed to keep you healthy. It's designed to keep you sick and paying for it every day of your life until you die. And then they make you pay for that too. Kills SARS-CoV. Wait a minute, wait, Agus, I'm loving that you're here. My mom broke her wrist and I brought her many copper bracelets. Kills SARS-CoV, aka virus that causes COVID. See? Hey, Duncan, thank you. Glad you're here. And Chris is 87 and has smoked cigarettes since you were 9. Wow. Hey, Trucker Tom. Okay, a little more information about iodine. Iodine compounds are very useful in industry. Like compounds of bromine and chlorine, iodine compounds are sensitive to light and are used in photography. Oh, I hate when YouTube censors what you're writing. It's like you write something and it puts something else up. That is so wrong. Yeah, what kills parasites? Laced. We're trying to find that out. The most important source of iodine is chili saltpeter. I've heard of saltpeter. I never knew what it was. It's a mineral that is found in great quantities in the country of Chile. Another source is oil brine deposits, underground bodies of salt water found near petroleum deposits. A small amount of iodine is obtained from the sea. Seaweed, which absorbs iodine from seawater, is collected and burned. Then iodine is removed from the ashes. I did not know about this. Tell us more, Chris. How did chlorine kill your grandma? You can find it in most places that have CBD. Are we talking about the colloidal silver? Agus? And let's please get rid of the trolls, my friends. We don't need any of you on this show, taking away from what we're actually learning. The use of iodine in surgical site operations reduces the risk of infection. Duncan is absolutely right. Agus says iodine used in water, a few drops, can also help with exposure to low levels of X-ray radiation from our sun currently. That's why our sun. That's why you're feeling tired and fatigued. And Deb says herbs that kill parasites: oregano, thyme, wormwood, and black walnut mixed with alcohol as a carrier. There are all sorts of things to do. I think we have some children on here who are saying very rude things. So go back to mom and you need to be punished. Lace and Chain says, I'm on day 5 with my buddy in my belly and my booty in purgatory. What does that mean? Are you pregnant or what? Or are you saying something we don't want to hear about? Agus says it's a good replacement or alternative to using more expensive and harder to find sodium iodine. Iodine used in water. Okay, a few drops. Thank you, Agus. Yes. Yes, again, thank you to my mods for keeping the chat safe from the crazy people in the world. Okay, let's learn a little bit about bromine now. Carnivore diet. You know, Mr. Do, I do want to try that. I've done it a little bit and I just couldn't stick with it, but I think a carnivore diet is very interesting. Duncan says it's a pain to remove iodine from the theater floor. Oh, you mean the operating theater floor after operations. Okay, what? Is that what you do, Duncan? Are you a janitor or what are we talking about here? Okay, I want to learn about bromine, which is a reddish brown liquid. It causes burns if you touch it to your skin. When it evaporates, it forms a poisonous gas that irritates the eyes and the nose. In medicine, bromine compounds are used as sedatives to calm your nerves. The chemical industry uses bromine and bromine compounds to prepare other important chemicals. Bromine compounds are also used in photography and in hair waving lotions. Oh, that sounds pretty crazy. You can also use horse paste for many parasites. Tractor Supply or store like it. I had them and it got better. It's a form of ivermectin. That's absolutely right, and it comes in a nice apple flavor. But you can put it on your skin. You don't have to eat it. I clean operating theaters. Wow, Duncan, that is so interesting. I would think that is a high level above regular cleaning, right? Good morning, Bendel. Iodide will dissolve when, you mean iodine or iodide? What's the difference? Will dissolve when you use industrial 30% or 45% white vinegar. Yeah, we call them operating rooms or surgical suites. And in England, Duncan calls them operating theaters. I always kind of like that. And it is like a theater, at least it used to be, because a lot of times it would have this huge, like a viewing area where people, especially in teaching hospitals, they watch the operation, and it is indeed like a theater. What's the CAL ranch? Agus, you are a little bit over my head with that one. I'm so happy Agus is here. You are very cool. Thank you for being part of the Beach Report today, especially when we are learning about these chemicals and things that we need to know as humans, because if you rely on your television or even, I'm sorry to say, your doctor, you may or may not get the truth. In fact, it's quite possible that you will get information that will end up hurting you, not helping you. The same mixture is also effective in cleaning out algae from your holding tank if you haul water. Very interesting. I know, we love our UK friends, don't we, Debs? And we love their accents. Along with hydrogen peroxide and baking soda afterwards, flush the tank, good to go. Wait, I gotta talk like Duncan. It used to have people watch the operations and charge admission, hence they called them theaters. I love it. I know, it looks like Angus, but it's Agus. They would charge admission. Would you would you pay a few bucks to see me get my gallbladder out? It's kind of crazy, right? Hello, Ireland. We've got a bunch of people from Ireland who watch the Beach Report, and we love our Irish counterparts over there in Europe. And I, of course, lived in Switzerland for more than 10 years, and a lot of my friends are European and came from England and Ireland and France and Australia. It's actually Argus, military drone surveillance system, 40K AI system. Wait, Argus, are you a person or are you AI? Do let us know, because that is also interesting to know. Myconazole is good for yeast and fungus on wounds too. Oh, Deb, you lost your gallbladder at 29. So I heard something about them taking out gallbladders for some nefarious reasons. Just saying. You just never know. I don't trust my body to science. Well, Crafty Karen wants to know if I still have sex at my age. No, I don't. And I don't care anything about it. And I'm a widow. So the next person I sleep with will be my husband. He's dead. So I'm going to have to wait till I die. There. Answered. Yeah, quite the question, Karen. What's the mixture you suggest for campers, Argus? 44 gallons. Argus's channel. Thank you. Thank you. Argus knows a lot. Come on, Karen. Just get over it, okay? I don't give a shit. I have much better things to do than think about sex in my 60s, okay? Yeah. Oh, you're 40 and you can't wait to stop thinking about it. Well, be with as many nasty men as I have and you're never going to want it again. No, I don't mean it like that. I haven't been with any nasty men. I just mean that I haven't been treated well in my life by men. My ex-husband was an alcoholic and put his hands around my throat in front of my kids. So yeah, that kind of turned me off. And then I finally met the love of my life and he got cancer and passed away almost 4 years ago. So that turns me off to everybody because I still love him. And when a woman is in love, it's impossible for her to want to be with anybody else, honestly. And that's just the way it is. If my husband walked in this room right now, believe me, I'd jump his bones in a minute. Just saying. Hi, Shamrock. Hormones, yeah, I guess hormones get off over time, but really, I think for most women, it's emotional, and it feels like, you know, you don't want to share your body with people who don't love you, or people who it's just for a fun time. That's not a fun time to me. Oh, Mohammed, my hair is gray. What? I thought it was red. Yeah, no, I don't want to have sex in heaven. I'm just saying, Michael. That was a joke. That if my husband were still alive and walked in the room, yes, I would be all over him. Not in a sexual way, because I would want every part. I would what I would do to that man if he actually was alive and walked in the room right now, okay? I'm just saying, I still love him so much. And I've had the last 4 years to get to know him in heaven. So, yeah, crazy comments, right, Kathy? So, my husband's been gone for almost 4 years now. He died on September 30th of 2022, the day after Hurricane Ian finally passed and made it safe enough for me to emerge from the shelter that was a hospice. So my husband saved my life. And I will just spend the rest of my life thanking him. And my marriage now is in heaven to God and to my husband who's up there too. Thank you, Karen. It's okay. It's okay, you know. They say till death do you part, but that's not true. And I'm not dead, so I'm not going to part with him yet. I don't want to have sex now. I don't care about it. I don't care about anything physical like that. I don't want to be with a man who doesn't love me, who isn't my husband. I also take marriage vows very seriously. And at this point, I don't even want to kiss a man unless he's my husband or I'm in a big relationship with him. I'm not in any relationship. So, and I don't want to be in a relationship. Hi, Amos. Thank you, Lou, the chicken dude. Yeah, no, it's okay. So it's 4 years since I lost Ray. September 30th, it will be 4 years. And coming up on September, this is a month, you know, I have to deal with 9/11. It was always 9/11 season for me because I wrote a book about the way 9/11 changed our whole society. And thank you, Karen. Yeah, exactly. Celibacy keeps the STDs away. Actually, celibacy is a wonderful life. It makes me feel free. I'm not worried about what someone else is thinking about me. I could gain a few pounds and I don't care because no one is looking at me naked but me. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. Jesus Christ blesses me every day of my life. Deb's on 12 years, and it is something that I think it gives you a power in a way, because you're powerful over your own body and you are not trying to pretty yourself up, if you will, for anybody but God. Argus, my dad had many ailments. U.S. Navy SEAL, Vietnam, ECM reconnaissance, 1965 to 1968, 86 missions, 37 encounters with the enemy agent. Exposure, he volunteered Agent Orange exposure. He volunteered 17 years ago. Oh, God bless you, Argus, and your father. Thank you so much for your service to our country. They don't make people like that anymore. Yes, it's worth the wait. What a joyous reunion it will be when we see our loved ones again. That's so true. God made us to procreate, and you should love that person. Exactly. And I did it. I procreated. I made 2 actual people. So my work here is done. Dad got brain cancer from Agent Orange, probably, right? I like how celibacy keeps the raving lunatic women away. And the men, Random, and the men. We both are dealing with that. So, 26 years since 10 operations ruined my girl, Donna. Do I believe 9/11 was an inside job? It depends on what you mean by inside. Do I believe it was, what was his name? Larry Summers, who owned the building? Yeah, I believe he had something to do with it. He didn't show up to work that day, neither did his kids. Very suspect. Do I believe that maybe our government had something to do with it? Yes, I actually do, because did you know that 9/11 was supposed to be you know how they have like mock emergencies or trial runs to get people, first responders, to kind of practice what to do in an emergency? Did you know that 9/11 was supposed to be a trial run, a mock emergency? It wasn't supposed to be real, and then it was. Then it was very real. Kathy says, I have never discussed my personal affairs that God made between holy matrimony with the soul. My parents had 10 children together and never acted or spoke perversion. Thank you for that. Exactly. And it's true, lots of horny women are also gold diggers. Greetings, Philip Flanagan. Good to see you. My mom had 10 brothers and sisters in Canada. That's a lot of kids. New York Debs, not with me. I'm a broke-ass Yowie, mate. All right, well, we'll just stay away from those entanglements now, won't we? We entered the world with nothing, and we leave the world with almost nothing. Just other people, that is all we can take with us. Duncan, you said what I say all the time, and I learned this when my husband was dying. Because when he was dying, he said he saw people from like his parents who had passed away, his sisters who had passed away. He even saw the Indian medicine man from the tribe that he used to work with. My husband worked with the Seminole Indians here in South Florida for 10 years. He was Cuban. Anyway, he saw all these people, and we would be laying in bed, and he'd be looking up like in the distant in the corner, and he would be like, baby, don't you see them? They're looking at you. It was, I want to say it was creepy, but it wasn't creepy. I believed him. He was of sound mind at that point when he said these things, and he would say them like it was just obvious, like, they're right there, baby, you cannot see them. And I'd be like, I don't see them, Ray. And it was crazy, but it was real. It was definitely real. Argus is divorced almost 3 years now. She never left. 16 years total. I got my bones jumped last night by her. All right, Argus, you go team. I hope you love her. Really, you should only be doing that with people you love. We respect each other more now for some reason. So you don't just love her, you respect her. And that is everything. Uh-oh, Debs has a warning for you. I'm not going to read it. You don't know. Hi, Daniel. You know, sex is dangerous. You can get sick. Did you know that if you kiss someone and they have gum disease or a cavity in their mouth or an infected tooth, that infection, you're going to get it too. Did you know that? Think about it. Don't be kissing randos. Random says, she's going to need a bulldozer to get through the walls I built. I'm an engineer, so I build strong, high walls. You can love someone, just not be able to live with them. That's true, too. Argus says she cannot drive, has epilepsy, and dual shoulders that dislocation during a seizure. Argus, sounds like she needs you. Your ex-wife. Is that your ex-wife? Donna, I'm not touching anyone. Walls are good because you all need to have boundaries, especially against people who are not your friends for the right reasons, because you never know. Argus's daughter's 15, autistic, and she has a brain tumor center of her pineal gland. Argus, can you not find some kind of something to get rid of that? I would think if anyone could do it, it would be you. So get to work on that. Okay. Did you know that bromine is obtained from seawater and from underground brine deposits? Close to 15,000 tons of seawater are needed to obtain 1 ton of bromine. Wow. I'm still not even sure what we want it for, because used as sedatives are dangerous. I don't think anyone should take a sedative like that. Lou says, I've been single since my wife passed away in 2001. Haven't been with anyone since only Jesus Christ is my love now. Lou, welcome to the crowd. Welcome to the club on that one. Same. You know, when you love Jesus, you don't really need another person in your life. When you've had that great love, oftentimes you don't want to look for another one, because I don't think that you get that many great loves, and some people don't get any great loves. I feel so blessed that I had mine, and I don't even want to like go there again. I can't take the heartbreak when it's over. And my husband died, and I thought it was over, but guess what? It's not over. He's still with me. He might not be here in the physical form. Sorry, I'm sweating up like crazy here. But he is very much still with me. That's right. Jesus Christ can heal your daughter. I agree. I believe it. My mom is also on the 7 acres of the property, and sister, my mom had a stroke, CV, ovarian cancer, stage 3, and diabetes. That is a lot. Deb had an aneurysm surgery that saved your life. Yeah, don't go kissing randoms. Even the cute ones could have gum disease, okay? Don't kiss randoms. Value and love the days and cherish them with those you are with. So true. Donna's been up to a 15-plus-year-old soul in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I claim full recovery, and I thank you in advance, dear Father. Amen. Thank you. You know, the pain makes you stronger, Lou. The pain makes you stronger. Life is such a gift. No more fluoride. It calcifies the pineal gland. That's so true. They put it in our water for a reason. Bromide was apparently put in soldiers' tea to stop lust. It was just a myth spread around troops. Wow. You are lifting up, Donna. Argus says, it wasn't bromide. My grandfather was a World War II Army Air Corps drill sergeant. They used saltpeter. I know, and it's like saltpeter. No one ever hears about that anymore. One of the ingredients to make gunpowder. What? Random says, well, I was building my walls. One snuck in and we had 3 kids. Then I learned how to build mazes and she got lost. Oh, Random. That's a lot. I hope you love your kids. I like my teeth too, Ab, and I've lost 3 of them already, so enjoy them while you see them. But I have a great new dentist, and he's going to help me, and I'm going to help him too, so it's going to be all good. Chlorine. Chlorine is a greenish yellow gas. It is poisonous, and like bromine, irritates the eyes and nose. However, to kill germs, it is added in small amounts to drinking water and to the water in swimming pools. Laundry bleaches are usually chlorine compounds. Chlorine bleach is often used to disinfect floors and walls. As bleaches, chlorine compounds are used to whiten cloth and paper. Like bromine compounds, they are very important in photography and for making other chemicals. A common chlorine compound is ordinary table salt. Thank you so much, Lou. I really appreciate it. I have 22 teeth left. It's not good. I hear you. I feel your pain. So, this is interesting. I did not know this, but a common chlorine compound is ordinary table salt. I had to read that again to be sure. Table salt is sodium chloride. Well, that makes all the sense in the world. A compound of chlorine and the metal sodium. Aw, Random loves his kids more than anything else in the world. And I'm a very lucky man because I see them nearly every day. See, Random, it's not all bad. You wouldn't have those kids if it wasn't for your ex-wife. Donna had 4 teeth pulled, 4 braces, and lost 2 molars after cancer and radiation treatment. And did you know that a lot of women lose their teeth after childbirth? I think it's something that turns your teeth to like chalk, and they break and they fall out, and it is devastating, and it happens. It's not all drugs and meth when people lose their teeth, so try not to judge anybody you see with fake teeth or with bad teeth. I say this because oftentimes people will come on and say something to me like, nice fake teeth. My teeth are not fake. But if they were, that's a really rude thing to say to someone, because somebody with fake teeth, they are just trying to look like themselves again. And there's no harm in that. And there's no shame in it either. If your teeth all fell out because you had a drug addiction problem, well, that's par for the course. And anybody should know that before you pick up that crack pipe or whatever, even cigarettes, you could be hurting your teeth. You should know that. It's worse than a lot of things you don't realize, the things that you do, but there's always these side effects that you get. For instance, did you know that cigarette smoke, even if you don't smoke, if you are around cigarette smoke secondhand, it will hurt your eyes, and it can cause you to go blind through macular degeneration. So a lot of things that, can affect you, and you don't even have to do them yourself. Duncan says, I'm trying to use the time with my ear infection to humble myself before the Lord, praying that I get it sorted Monday. Do I sound like you, Duncan? I'm trying. I'm not making fun of you. I love your accent, actually. So we are going to pray that you do get your ear infection sorted by Monday, because an ear infection, anything in your head, they call it the triangle of death. It's very important. And when you have pain in your head from an ear infection, from a tooth infection, and anything in your head, it hurts like hell. And I feel your pain. I'm so sorry. We are praying for you, Duncan. Check out Diatomaceous Earth Food Grade for Parasite Cleanse. Does Diatomaceous Earth help with the parasite cleanse? Because I understand that when it gets wet, it is no longer sharp enough to destroy the outer, I guess. So what Diatomaceous Earth does, it's shaped like a diamond, right? And in its dry form, if an ant or a cockroach or beetle or something walks over this diatomaceous earth that just looks like dust, really, then it will puncture the exoskeleton of that creature, because it's super sharp, like shards of glass. So when they walk through it, they will then lose all of their bodily fluids, and that will kill them. That's why some home builders put diatomaceous earth in the foundations of new homes. However, when it gets wet, it loses that hard thing. So I'm wondering if really eating diatomaceous earth will do anything to hurt parasites. And if the diatomaceous earth was still this sharp when you eat it, well, that sounds like bad news bears right there anyway. So I got to wonder about that one. Argus had a friend that was a naval intelligence officer, but he was also a firefighter, and that was what he did to decalcify his pineal gland. Oh, wait, what did he do? I gotta go back. Was it saltpeter? Tell us. I'm sorry, Argus. I missed what he did. Donna had one filling 2 years ago when she was 64, which you don't think you needed. I don't think we need most of the fillings that we get either. And I can't wait to work with my new dentist as far as disseminating information to you, because Dr. Andy Bagay is actually a holistic dentist. I love that. I think most dentists, well, the ones that only focus on your teeth and nothing else, they're missing the boat, because your teeth are connected to every part of your body, holistically, if you will. You have to get a good dentist. Yeah, you have to be really careful. Your pineal gland is essentially full of piezoelectric-based liquid crystals. We are amazing. We are such amazing creatures. And anyone who tells you that you don't have a lot of power in the world is lying to you. Bleach is toxic and carcinogenic. Yeah. If it touches urine, you're now making essentially mustard gas. What? No. Oh my gosh. I like to wash the floors with white vinegar and baking soda. All matter is a combination: acoustic energy, EMF energy, and photon energy. God is a clocksmith. So true. Time is an illusion. Money isn't real. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. We love that you have 20 years of research on health, Debs. I'm glad you're here. You always bring great information. Okay. Chlorine is obtained from sodium chloride by electrolysis, which is passing an electric current through sodium chloride in a solution. Most sodium chloride comes from salt lakes, underground brine deposits, or salt mines. Ooh, Lysol. Lysol's nasty stuff. Glad you're here, Donkey. Fluorine. Fluorine is a pale yellow gas. It is the lightest and most active halogen. In fact, fluorine is the most active nonmetal element, and it will form compounds with almost any other element. The most important use of pure fluorine is in nuclear energy work. Before my aunt went crazy and went and took the Jabberwocky poke, she was a horticulturist. Oh, did that ruin her? Taught me about all the different medicines in the mountains. Why did she take the poke then? Why did she do that? Chlorhexidrine used in hospitals to clean before incisions. Random says, so many great medical remedies have been deliberately not taught or banned now, like marijuana, because the medical industry doesn't make money from healthy people. So true, Random, but marijuana, not so much. Did you hear President Trump has classified, or what's the word? Well, he's taken marijuana to a new level because it is medicinal. And we all have cannabinoid receptors in our bodies. We also all have nicotine receptors in our bodies too. And they ruin nicotine for us because they put it in cigarettes and a bunch of other chemicals. But if we just smoked the tobacco leaf, or we just ate vegetables, yes, vegetables have nicotine in them, there'd be no problem. They really took things that our bodies need and want, and they adulterated it to the point that it turned out to be bad for us. Yeah. Nicotine's been killing cancer lately. Exactly. Legalized. Thank you, Donkey. You're so right. Is that because of the ammonia combined with chlorine? Those of us who use cannabis and smoke have a 70% less chance of getting COVID. And there's that. And it's the same. Yeah, it's right. Cannabis and cigarettes. The same. It's amazing, isn't it? Trump just moved it from Schedule 1, 2, 3. It is still federally illegal. Thank you for the clarification, Duke. However, President Trump did go out and say that it is not something that marijuana is not evil, and that there are actually verified medical uses for it. And you can get a prescription here in Florida to use it, because it really does help with anxiety. And before my husband died, he was taking, what's it called? It's a tincture that has like a very high THC level in it, and it helps with cancer. And I wouldn't say it helped with that, but he also smoked it or vaped it or whatever, and it helped him so much with his anxiety before he died. Never use ammonia and bleach, it will kill you. And actually, my husband almost got killed by that exact thing. He told me a story once, or he accidentally mixed ammonia and bleach and almost died, almost passed out, and it was by the grace of God that he lived through that. Yeah, marijuana is grown on this planet for a reason. It's medicine. Helps my woman with her anxiety. Absolutely, it does. It's not a bad thing. But they want you to think that things that are very good for you are the worst for you. Just like they want you to think that the good people in the world are actually the criminals, and vice versa. We're supposed to think the criminals are the good people. Yeah, wrap your mind around that one. There is a man named Todd McCormick who had documented 26 types of cancer in his body, and actually discovered that different strains of cannabis destroys those types of cancer. Exactly. That's what we were going for with Ray. Unfortunately, we didn't get started with that stuff until it was just too late, and Ray had cancer throughout his entire body. I don't know about that COVID thing. I smoke a lot. I've had COVID 3 times. Well, then there's that, random. But you didn't take the jab, right? I hope you didn't. There's something on our earth God put here to heal all disease. Weed fixes a lot. Wow. And Argus is CV immune. That's awesome. I've had COVID twice, and the second time was worse than the first time. The second time I was pretty sick, but not that sick. Here I am. I think it was the flu. I don't think it was really COVID, but they call it the flu. And they test for it and say it's the flu. They didn't test me for it, but, whatever. I'm fine. I wish I could use sorcery to light my bowl. I have to use a lighter. Well, you could use a vape and then you don't have to use the lighter. I don't know. I don't think vapes are very good for you, though. Trump also legalized the usage of treatments on PTSD using psychedelics, which is what Timothy Leary was doing decades ago. That's true, too. Oh, it was the dolphins. I got COVID once and ate onions like apples and drank hot tea. Yeah, Donkey Man, sounds like you were Donkey Meat. You were making your own hydroxychloroquine, right? Onions, apples. I think it's all in there. You guys are so smart. People shed it so it can be transmitted that way too. The best thing about vapes is you won't burn your house down. Or catch your body on fire when you fall asleep. Well, that's true too. Oh my gosh. Flicker Vinny in the house. Hey, Vinny, good to see you. Vinny has a CCR5 teal gene mutation. I'm immune to a lot of stuff. Wow. They made you extra strong. Timothy Leary was rewiring the neurogenetic circuits of people using psychedelics in jail programs of violent offenders. You're talking people that murdered, etc. That's crazy cakes. Wow. Oh, look at this troll. Now, not only am I not a real, but I'm a tranny too. Okay, sure, whatever. Alcohol. That's a killer right there. Stop drinking alcohol. Something like a 90% remission of violent tendencies. Amazing. Exactly. Thank you, Debs. We don't need any negativity or any rude trolls or bots. So thank you. And I also don't wear deodorant. So I'm glad this isn't smell-o-vision, but I don't want to put any chemicals or bad things on my skin. And your skin is super absorbent right now. It is, my skin is not being absorbent. It is actually leaking water. But that's normal because it's got to be in the 90s today. But anyway, your skin is so absorbent. It sucks in anything you put on it. And so when it comes to creams and sunscreen, Don't wear sunscreen, please. For the love of all that is holy, don't wear sunscreen. Argus says, unfortunately, vaping also has a dark secret, and that is the suspension fluid is all propylene glycol now, which turns into formaldehyde when vaporized. Chemistry 101. Don't vape. In other words, don't vape. Thank you. Thank you, Argus. Vaping also has synthetic THC and synthetic nicotine. None of it is natural. That began about 2 years ago. Thank you again. Vaping is bad for your lungs. There's something called popcorn lung that you get. And just listen to the word popcorn lung. That can't be good. Nobody wants that. Duncan says, I'm sure that many things, if applied correctly and controlled, can be very beneficial. Belladonna is poisonous, but a derivative is used in cardiac arrest to control heart rate. It's true too. It's true too. I knew a guy who tried vaping to quit smoking cigarettes. Now he has asthma. Wow, that's bad. Hey, Cater. It's crazy. You have to be so careful. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like the original Sweaty Betty over here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty bad. Did you know that 100% of people that got the jab, some got a degree of eye swelling, some didn't notice, to some that lost vision to blindness? I did not know that. Popcorn lung was caused by using that fake butter for popcorn, and that took it out. Hence the name. Oh, here I thought it was like something happened in your lungs and it'll look like popcorn. Thank you, Debs. You're the best. Argus says, I smoke cigarettes in moderation, a pack every 3 to 4 days. I quit smoking. My anniversary to quitting smoking is coming up. It will be 20 years on the 23rd of July. How do I know this date so well? Because it's my kid's birthday. When he was 10, that's what he wanted for his birthday, was for mom and dad to quit smoking. And you don't say no to that. So shout out to my boy. He's kept me smoke-free 20 years. Woo, woo, go me, right? That's a pretty big anniversary. And I'll tell you what, I was a crazy smoker. I was a smoke opera. I loved to smoke cigarettes so much. There were times that I would smoke 2 to 3 packs in a day, lighting them one off the other. I was your typical journalist reporter. And I would be writing articles, smoking away like a crazy fiend. I'm so glad that's over. It's like I got freedom when I quit smoking. Yes, never eat popcorn from the microwave bag. So true. Popcorn lung. Debs, thank you. I won't make that mistake again. Ganja every day, Jules. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. Change your notification bell so you don't miss any content. Thank you so much for the reminder, Duncan. Donna was a guinea pig for the respiratory therapy department when it opened in the early 70s. Horrible. My friend got the jab and had left testicles swell like a baseball within a week. I do know that it clots very quickly and I heal very quickly, days, even hours or seconds for little scratches. Isn't our body amazing? Our bodies, that, you know, people say, you know, you can't heal yourself, but you do it every day. You get a scratch, you hurt your finger, you cut it, you bleed, and it knits itself together pretty fast. Microdosing mushrooms helps with depression. Problem is, I always thought a microdose was a whole bag. No, but it's true. Taking just a little bit of something that is poisonous, like the tiniest bit, could be a good thing. You just never know. Popcorn good, but we grow our own. How do you quit smoking? Glad you asked. I quit cold turkey personally. Skin is the largest organ on your body, and the first defense to your immune system, it is called the lymphatic system. Thank you, Philip. I do love to educate. I'm got a little bit of a teacher in me. That's why the whole dust mask thing makes no sense, besides the fact that I did mold remediation, and even a dust mask didn't work on a mold spore, which is 80,000 times larger than a droplet or a virus. Thank you for the common sense, Argus. You're so right. Rum and tacos. Well, Jules. We know what Jules is doing all day long. Anyway, it is it is hard to stay healthy in this world where most of our food is fake. You walk into the grocery store and seriously 90% of what they're trying to sell you there, if it isn't covered in chemicals, you know, the water you see being sprayed on the vegetables, it's not water. I almost died from mold from a leg. Toxic algae blooms. You just never know. The danger is everywhere. So how we survive, how I can be 60 years old, kind of blows my mind, and yet here I am. Okay. Let's talk about fluorine some more. The pale yellow gas that is the latest and most active halogen. In fact, fluorine is the most active nonmetal element. So we were talking about. The most important use of pure fluorine is in nuclear energy work. It's used to separate uranium into its different types, otherwise known as isotopes. The person that said pot is bad in witchcraft got kicked so quick I didn't get a chance to troll them. See, random? That is funny. Deb knows. Okay. Now we were talking about cavities. Let's get into it. Although pure fluorine has very few uses, its compounds are very important. Fluorine compounds in water and toothpaste help to prevent cavities in teeth. Okay, this information again is coming to us from the 60s to the 80s. And this is where they try to tell us that fluoride is good for us. So this is what they thought in the 80s. An important use of fluorine compounds was discovered in ancient times. Certain minerals called fluxes were added to melted ores or glass to make them flow more easily. In modern times, scientists have found that these fluxes contain fluorine compounds. These compounds are still very important in glass and metal industries. Fluorocarbons are another important group of fluorine compounds. These compounds of carbon and fluorine are used as lubricants and for making stain-resistant cloth. In general, fluorine compounds are made from compounds found in minerals such as fluorspar and cryolite. Pure fluorine, when it is needed, is made by electrolysis of hydrofluoric acid, a fluorine compound. They're not telling us that much about the fluorine, the fluoride. I use clove oil for mouth health. I do too, Deb, and if I do have any kind of a toothache or pain, I chew on a clove of like raw cloves. Good stuff. Argus says, actually, they're incorrect. Fluorine in the periodic table is next to oxygen. It is a corrosive substance and destroys calcium. And yet, they're telling us here that it helps cavities. And we know this is a lie. Activated charcoal toothpaste, yes. Also, you remember Dr. Strangelove, they knew that the effects of sodium chloride on the neurochemical damages of the brain and the pineal gland. They knew everything. Oh no, they knew nothing, but they thought they knew everything. Astatine is the only halogen that is of no commercial importance. It is a very rare element. There is less than 1 ounce in all of the Earth's crust. When it is needed for scientific studies, it is usually made in the laboratory by means of an atomic reaction. Astatine is radioactive. And we never hear about that now, do we? Ooh, ions and ionization. An ion is an atom or group of atoms that carries an electric charge. All atoms are made up of smaller particles called subatomic particles. Some of these smaller particles carry an electric charge at all times, but the charges are not always apparent. The reason is that there are 2 different kinds of charges, positive and negative. The 2 sometimes balance each other inside the atom. This causes the atom to behave as though it carried no charge at all. This is some crazy stuff. At the center of every atom is a nucleus containing 1 or more particles called protons. Each of these protons has a positive charge. Surrounding the nucleus are particles called electrons. Each of these has a negative charge. Negative ions are the good ones, positives are bad. Let's find out what they thought in the 80s. An ordinary atom has exactly as many protons as electrons. This means that it has exactly as many positive charges as negative charges. All the charges balance, and the atom is essentially electrically neutral. Suppose you upset the balance by removing some of the particles. You will then produce an electric charge and form an ion. This process is called ionization. I know, Debs, you're so smart. Oh, and okay, wait, we're learning. These particles removed are usually electrons. Protons are heavy particles in the nucleus. It is difficult to do anything to them. Electrons, however, are light particles, and some are bound rather lightly to the rest of the atom. These are easy to remove. In fact, some electrons in atoms of metals are so easily removed that under certain conditions, they can be made to flow through the metal. We describe this as an electric current flowing through the metal. An electric current in metal is actually a flowing of loose electrons. It is possible to cause atoms to give up electrons by bombarding the atoms with energy in the form of light or heat. Random says, I was not sure when I first came in, but you and your mods passed every one of my tests and not one word about my caps. You realize this has never happened before. Freaking out. Well, Random, you're now with family, so ease in to the Beach Report. I hope you have liked and subscribed. I hope you consider becoming a member of my membership group. So glad you're here, Random. I use ion air purifiers and they help. You don't know what to do now. So I subbed and liked. Thank you. I'm glad you're here, Random. Okay, so we're going back to our science lesson. It is possible to cause atoms to give up electrons by bombarding the atoms with energy in the form of light or heat. That's right, Deb said. Some people type in all caps because of poor eyesight, and we're okay with that. That's why the only way to harden a system using military methods is to encase the electronics in a vacuum seal and a Faraday cage. That. Donna. Yes! Okay. If an element can be made to give off electrons when it is struck by light, these moving electrons will make up an electric current wherever they go. We can construct a photoelectric cell or an electric eye out of such elements. Note to anybody that doesn't want to get scammed, there is no way to shield a vehicle or your home with a little device like one of the $250 EMP shields. Thank you for that one, Argus. Yes, a lot of people will spend money on things that don't even work, which is sad. Okay. All right, let's learn about the electric eye. A photoelectric cell is sometimes used to open and shut doors automatically. Light shining on the cell causes it to give off electrons. The electrons make up an electric current that causes the door to stay shut. As you approach the door, your body interrupts the beam of light. As a result, the electric current stops. The door opens in time for you to pass through. That's interesting. Atoms will also release electrons if heated strongly enough. In a radio tube, a metal wire is heated so that electrons are given off. The movement of these electrons can be strictly controlled because they carry negative charges. This means they can be attracted to any object that carries a positive charge. Opposite charges attract each other, and we all learn that. It also means that they can be pushed away by any object that carries a negative charge. Similar charges repel each other, of course. The blue roofs work on the usage of what you would call maser energy weapons because it blocks out the blue spectrum of energy that they are using in the process. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Seems blue cars and blue roofs were okay and others melted in Hawaii. That's true. primary UVC radiation to cook people's homes in Hawaii and in Paradise, California. Yeah, how do we know about this? But the truth never gets out to the people who really need to know it. That is a shame. UVC radiation is on the blue-purple spectrum of the electromagnetic fields. And therein lies the rub. By controlling the flow of electrons in this fashion, we can make electric currents start and stop. We can direct them, strengthen weak currents, and so on. Instruments that make use of such controlled electron flows are electronic. Radio and television sets are common examples of electronic devices. DMT. What is DMT? Is that a drug? I don't know what DMT is. You have to give me some more information. Near infrared light heals. 8 use red light therapy. That's also the reason why I lay in the sun and do my sun baths. Every day, dedicated as much as I can. Basically, if you've seen Buck Rogers or Forbidden Planet, the little devices in their hands and the little ball on the end, that's a maser. Interesting. Thank you. I'm learning a lot here on the Beach Report today. Okay, it's getting way too hot, and I can't stay out here too much longer doing this show, but I'm going to read to you one more thing about positive ions. Lead paint also blocked the X-ray radiation pulses from solar flares that we get hit on by a daily basis by the sun, which explains the lead in the paint. Oh, it's tripping. DMT is microdosing. I tripped at 19, so I'm good, LOL. I did the same, Debs. I guess I'm good too. I never want to trip again. It was kind of hard. I was conceived on shrooms. Oh, Argus, in the 80s, I'm guessing. I remember the shrooms well. It's so funny. Okay, positive ions. Once electrons leave an atom, the remaining... Did your parents tell you you were conceived on shrooms? Because that seems like something you wouldn't want to tell your kids. Yes, but our minds are very open. And Argus's dad was Vietnam SEAL, but also an inventor and had multiple master's degrees in engineering fields. Mom was a hippie artist, oil on canvas, University of Chicago fine arts graduate. Good stock there, Argus. We're glad you're here. Okay, once electrons leave an atom, the remaining electrically charged particles no longer balance. There are not enough electrons left to cancel the charge of every proton. If one electron is gone, one proton is left unbalanced. If 2 electrons are gone, 2 protons are left unbalanced, and so on. The atom as a whole is now a positive ion because it carries a positive electric charge. Well, we're looking at it. We're going through it, Duncan. We'll see. Since these positive ions are electrically charged, they can be controlled by other electric charges. Scientists think that someday spaceships may be powered by such ions. Is that what we're talking about here? Oh, DMT is classified as a drug. It's in every living thing. We have a store of it in our brain that has been attributed to the trip down the tunnel of light to meet our ancestors when we die. Wow. Argus is mostly homeschooled. That explains a lot in a good way. The metal cesium may be used for traveling in spaceships, according to this book. Cesium atoms lose electrons more easily than any other variety of atom. And so cesium ions are more easily formed than any other. Fast-moving cesium ions can be hurled out through tubes at the rear of a spaceship. Each ion will give the ship a tiny kick forward. Little by little, the ship will go faster and faster. Such an ion drive may provide greater speed than any form of ordinary rocket could. Is that how it works? Argus? Is that real? Did a bird just... Yeah, one of our family pigeons. My thumb can't type as fast as the Argus posts. Mr. Inappropriate's here. Hello, good to see you. I built my first computer when I was 6 years old, so it ran on DOS 3.1 Argus. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right, one more section about plasma and fusion. All right, Debs. Just watch. You don't have to chat. You can just soak it in. Although, what do I know? I'm just a carpenter. Gee, what other carpenters do we know who might have said such a thing? Argus. If a quantity of matter is heated more and more strongly, it first turns gaseous. Then its atoms start losing electrons. More and more atoms lose electrons until at high temperatures, all of the atoms lost at least one electron. The gas then consists of charged particles only, negatively charged electrons and positively charged ions. Matter made up of gas containing balanced quantities of charged particles is called plasma. The sun and all the stars are made up of plasma. Look it up, it's freaking incredible. I did it once. I didn't go down the tunnel, but I did get abducted by aliens. Whoa. Whoa, here we go. Carpenters do know math. They have to. My husband was also quite a carpenter. In some cases, temperatures are extremely high in the millions of degrees. Then all the electrons are stripped of the atoms and bare nuclei are left behind. In ordinary atoms, the nuclei are hidden behind clouds of electrons and cannot approach each other. Hi, Frank. In very hot plasma, the bare nuclei can approach and collide. Colliding nuclei can exchange particles or can join together to form a new and larger nucleus. This joining together is called nuclear fusion. The nuclear fusion of small nuclei releases a great deal of energy. The center of the sun is at a temperature of some 10 million degrees centigrade. There the nuclei of 4 hydrogen atoms can fuse to form a helium atom nucleus. This is the chief type of fusion reaction that occurs. The energy produced radiates outward and bathes Earth with heat and light. Oh, random releases of DMT in our brains have been attributed to alien abductions. I never heard about that, but I'm going to look it up. That sounds very interesting. Back to nuclear fusion. On Earth, scientists have learned to produce very hot plasmas by means of an exploding atomic bomb. If these hot plasmas contain certain types of hydrogen atoms, the nuclei of these atoms will undergo fusion. Then, far more energy is liberated than in an ordinary atomic bomb. The result is a hydrogen bomb. We sure are learning a lot about these weapons here in the 1960s to 80s. Scientists are trying to find out how to form very hot plasmas without using an atomic bomb. If they can form such hot plasmas in small quantities, they can start nuclear fusion going in a quiet way. Instead of reacting all at once, the nuclei will fuse and produce energy a little bit at a time. This energy can then be put to 1,000 peaceful uses. Indeed. Indeed. All right, random. Please save stuff for next time, but we are on the Beach Report every day, pretty much every day. I do take a day or two off sometimes because I am a human and I do need a little bit of rest and relaxation in my life. Carpenters have to know lots of types of math, including trigonometry, to build a roof. Let's have a Bring Your Knowledge stream. I love that, Deb. I think that's a great idea. And we had a Bring Your Knowledge stream all morning long. So if you are watching on the replay, I hope that you got so much out of today's live stream because it isn't just me, it's my followers. I have so many smart people following me, and I am humbled and honored that you watch the Beach Report and that you also join in and teach everybody. It's maths. There is more than one. Just a little joke from across the pond. Oh, well, you're connecting well. We are always happy to see you, Duncan, the English gent. And so interesting to know that the people who watch this show are some of the coolest people. I mean, we even have somebody who cleans operating theater floors. Like, that's like blows my mind. What an important job you actually have. One more DMT thing. It has just been discovered that people on DMT can see through a wall that a red laser light is illuminating. That is so interesting. I think we're going to have to really look up this DMT thing. We'll save that, though, for the next show, okay? Thank you, Herb. I will see you guys on the next Beach Report. What do we have tonight? Oh, tonight we've got President Trump's speech. I'll be going live for that. Live from Fort Lauderdale. This is the Beach Report. Jill signing off. Now Vanessa's in the house. Oh, Vanessa, I was just getting ready to go. And I love Vanessa. Love to see you, my Los Angeles friend. AIAA document 1981 Lockheed Martin quantum ramjet patent. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the world. Vanessa, I hope that you will rewatch this show from the beginning because it's super interesting. We're doing like science here. Science, weird science. Dun, 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 dun. I love that song. Working technology patent using anti-hydrogen and hydrogen in a geomagnetic quantum ramjet engine using magnetic fields. It's the future. Yes, science. Science, science. All right, document 1981. I think they've known a lot of stuff since the 80s, and they don't want to tell us. Oh, well. We'll figure it out on our own here on the Beach Report. Everybody works together. Random, you are so welcome here, and please feel that you are a member of the Beach Report family now. So we are family. Hey, yeah, I got all my sisters and brothers with me. Yeah, keep it real on the back wheel. All right, you guys. I'm glad you're here, everybody. Since we got rid of all the trolls, we really winnowed it down to the very best people. All right, you guys. You're all so smart, and we can learn a lot from each other. I'll see you on the next Beach Report. That'll be tonight if I don't take you to the beach before then. We'll see. We'll see what the weather does. Ciao for now. Now there's Gretchen. Oh, my gosh. Gretchen, you got to rewatch this whole show. It was really fascinating. All right. I love you guys. Ciao.